Hello, I am Paulo Leite, record collector, and today I am in Lisbon, Portugal. Louie Louie is a record shop located downtown Lisbon. Let's go inside and see what they've got. We go down the stairs and find a very spacious shop. Right on the central aisle, we'll find the new vinyl arrivals with the latest in popular music and some classics like Fleetwood Mac's classic Rumours. On funk and soul, we'll find some great reissues. Here's some 90s music. There is also post-punk, krautrock, and a special section dedicated to Lou Reed, John Cale, and the Velvet Underground. New jazz vinyl and used jazz vinyl are located side by side, which is great since you'll find great records on both sides. Their used soul and funk are at the back of the aisle. Thank You Baby, a beautiful 1975 album by The Stylistics. The legendary Zing album, same year, by The Tramps. Rhapsody in White, The Love Unlimited Orchestra, 1974. On progressive, psycho and krautrock, I found one of my favorite albums. Procol Harum Live with the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra from 1972. Brilliant in every way. Get this album, you'll thank me later. On the classic rock, there are sections dedicated to Genesis, Jethro Tull, Yes, Dire Straits, Queen, Pink Floyd, The Beatles, The Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, and more. Their disco and funk section is pretty good too, with lots of Eurodisco. I instantly found great albums, including LTD's third album from 1976, Beautiful. The Brazilian vinyl section is excellent. New or used, there are lots of great albums here. Oh, get this Baden Powell album. You'll thank me later. Their Portuguese music section is also notable. Here you'll find all the best artists and songwriters. If you want to know more about Portuguese music, spend some time here. Louie Louie contains a wide variety of used singles. Most genres and decades are represented here. Bargain used vinyl can be found here too. There is a section called Afrobeats containing some titles I haven't heard in years that deserve to be rediscovered. Some nice titles on folk and country. World music contains lots of East European titles, and there is a French section with all the big names. The discount shelves contain lots of albums. Browsing through them is quite an adventure. 1 for 5 or 3 for 10 euros. I found here some titles that are worthwhile. There are great movie soundtracks here, good easy listening, and a few Phase 4 stereo titles too. I love them. Other shelves contain used vinyl that are organized either by genre or decade. Lots of good stuff here. Wow, Snowflakes Are Dancing by Isao Tomita. I'm such a Tomita fan. I love his work. This is an album from 1974 and contains some incredible electronic reimaginings of Claude Debussy. This is a stereo version of the album. Back in 1974, it was released by RCA Red Label as a quadradisc, meaning 4 audio channels. However, you need a Shibata needle plus a demodulator in order to get the 4 channels. This stereo version can be played everywhere. Oh, and by the way, am I the only one who thinks this photo of Claude Debussy makes him look like Dr. Spock? Oh, I had lots of fun listening to this one back in 1983. Oh, Visitors from the Galaxy Revisited. Now, here's something you don't find every day. These are remixes of a brilliant Yugoslavian movie soundtrack. Totally worth it. The original soundtrack from the 1981 movie has been released by the same label, and it is beautiful. This Dionne Warwick still has the E at the end of her name. Louie Louie also has a number of very good vinyl boxed sets. Some beautiful recordings of Karajan, Glenn Gould, and many others can be found here. The used CD section is mostly organized by price, genre, and alphabetical order. Right here is Lemon Jelly's beautiful album from 2000. There is a number of great used soul and funk CDs here. Here are the new arrivals on used CDs. The price of used CDs averages between 5 and 7.5 euros. This Saint Etienne album contains a beautiful cover of Neil Young's Only Love Can Break Your Heart. Beautiful. Their used jazz CD section is relatively small, but I found some great albums, including this one, Charlie Parker with Strings, one of my favorite albums ever. I bought it in the 90s when it first came out. It's a treasure. The same goes for their used classical CDs. Not a lot, but good titles. There is also a space dedicated to Portuguese classical composers and performers. Oh, and this is a beautiful album by Juliette Greco. Now to their hard rock and metal section. On their Brazilian used CD section, you can find some great albums too, including this album by Bola Sete, one of the most brilliant acoustic guitar players ever. This CD puts together 2 albums he recorded in the early 60s. Get this album, you thank me later. The Portuguese used CD section also contains some very important titles, including this one by the brilliant Carlos Paredes, the master Portuguese guitar player and composer. There is also a €1 used CD section, with mostly compilations. On the other side, the glass cabinets contain plenty of special editions and boxed sets. Lots of great stuff here. Now, right in front of the stairs, we find the shelves where they keep their new CD releases. Oh, and if you want to listen to an album, Louie Louie has a couple of very comfortable listening posts. And a few turntables for sale, at reasonable prices. All in all, Louie Louie has a great collection. The shop is spacious, everything is easily accessible, and its collection is well organized. I spent a wonderful time there. This is a record shop where it's easy to find something you like. This is definitely a record shop to visit. And you should be here with me.